Hey guys, welcome to part 2 of this video. As we touched on the previous video, we elaborated a bit on having a firm set of values, establishing the right boundaries, as well as knowing your strengths and your weaknesses. So now guys, now that we've gone through the information, let it simmer, I'm going to challenge you guys in a series of activities. The first activity, I'd like to challenge you guys to identify your core values. I, of course, defined your values as your own personal constitution, your supreme law. So in this challenge, I'd like you guys to identify not one, not two, but 3 core values. Now to take it further, I want you guys to write in a sentence or 2 why those values are classified as your core values. And then thirdly, I'd like you guys to again share in a sentence how these values, these 3 core values, will serve you in your journey at university and life in general. Good luck with the activity. Be honest with yourself so you can be honest with the world. Now, in the second activity, I want you guys to engage in a bit of self-reflection. Self-reflection to build emotional intelligence, which is very key in your interactions with people. Self-reflection to build self-awareness. I've had the special privilege of having a professional coach as a mentor, and one of the activities that he takes me through, especially when dealing with negative issues, negative situations, and observing my own responses and reactions to those situations, he takes me through an exercise. Now, this exercise entails journaling. So I'd like you guys to take a pen and paper and think back to the previous month, the previous week, and observe any sort of situations that you've experienced over the past month or couple of weeks. And I'd like you guys to analyze maybe a negative encounter that you might have had, a negative experience, a negative situation, and start journaling on it. There's a 4-step method to this journaling. And the first step entails being elaborate, stating what the situation was. The second step then would entail listing the specific emotions that you would have experienced in that situation. So again, be honest with yourself. Anger, frustration, sadness, confusion, and so forth. Thirdly, I'd like you guys to identify in this activity 3 to 5 options of how you could have responded positively to that negative situation. And then fourthly, after analyzing your various options, choose the best one. Now, you might wonder why I'm taking you guys through this absurd activity, but it is imperative that you are able to deal with your emotions, or else your emotions will deal with you. Your emotions will control your behavior if left unchecked. Your emotions can easily, thwart, if you will, negative emotions not dealt with can easily thwart your potential and prevent you from maximizing your strengths and your talents, and be detrimental to how you deal with yourself. Now, if you can't deal effectively with yourself, it is downright impossible to deal effectively and positively with other people. So get journaling, start reflecting, let's build that self-awareness, let's build that emotional intelligence. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you guys have had fun with the first 2 activities in identifying your core values, as well as journaling on a negative or challenging situation. Now, for the third and final activity, I would like you guys to identify your 3 strengths and 3 weaknesses that you have or perceive that you have or are aware of. Now, I'm going to be a bit stricter with this. Your strengths and your weaknesses must relate to the academic side of things. Now, of course, you're going to be undertaking a university degree or a college qualification and so forth. and you are going to be shaped into a leading mind, right? So it is imperative then that you are aware of your strengths and weaknesses in an academic sense. So I'd like to share a story with you guys in regards to that. So I wasn't always the most studious student in my varsity career. I could handle a large volume of work in a short space of time, but when it came to things like organization, time management, planning, all of those three things I could not really handle all that well. So I remember a quote by the great Andrew Carnegie who says, this is now etched on his tomb, and it says, "Herein lies a man who could get around him those who are more talented than he was." Ladies and gents, again, by recognizing my strengths and most importantly in this regard, my weaknesses, I was able to align with people who were better than me in certain aspects: time management, organization, planning, and so forth. And the rewards were almost immediate. My marks improved, I got to build strong relationships, and I got to graduate on time. Whoop whoop. So I was humble enough, in a sense, to acknowledge my weaknesses, and I sought to address them, and from there on in, things started improving and so forth. So I encourage you, don't be shy to acknowledge your weaknesses. It is actually a strength. It is something that can aid you going forward, and you might actually have a lot of fun while doing that. So, ladies and gents, I hope these activities have served you and have held you in good stead. I hope that you will implement them, and I hope that they will build your academic careers, but also build you guys as people. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope that these activities have been of assistance and of value to you guys. I will then see you in part 3 of this video, where we will debrief and conclude. Check you then. Cheers.